And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm RJ with the Sports Buzz, and this is episode 2 of March 15th, 2021. And I've had about a week to think this one over. That is Dak Prescott's contract. In the words of the movie Jerry Maguire, show me the money! Yes, show me the money. 4 years, $160 million deal, 126 of that guaranteed, with a $66 million signing bonus. Holy Whiskey Tango Foxtrot. WTF. What's even more absurd about this contract is it only counts as a $22.5 million cap hit, as opposed to the franchise tag what would have costed $37.5 million. So it saves $15 million against the cap. However it works out. I don't even know how the heck they work this mumbo jumbo blah 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 out. And what's even more absurd with this contract is Dak Prescott is getting $75 million in year one total. So in essence, half of the contract just about is done after the first year. You cannot make this up. I guess only in America. Only for the Dallas Cowboys and only Jerry Jones can come up with a most obscene, absurd contract that makes everybody turn their heads and still make it somewhat cap friendly. The signing bonus is the largest to date in NFL history. For now, somebody else is going to eclipse it. We all know all these QB contracts are so out of hand. And the sad part of this is this could have been avoided. This was a 2-year saga between the Cowboys, aka Jerry Jones, and Dak. It seemed like Jerry and the Cowboys weren't quite sold on Dak, even though they made it time and time again. He's our guy. We want nobody else being the quarterback except for Dak. But it took this long to pay him. I mean, last year, Dak earned about $31.5 million under the franchise tag. Was on pace for numbers that was just obliterating, stupid, out of this universe good. And he goes and breaks his freaking leg on the field. And one of the most gruesome injuries we've all seen. And it looked like the guy tried to pop it back into place on the field. That's how much competitiveness this guy has. How much heart this guy has. How much fire this guy has to stay on the field, to leave it all on the field. And yet, we were all wondering, is this going to be another year of the franchise tag? Is this going to be done? Is this going to be another saga? And the fact is, this took way too long. And this could have been done a year or two ago for probably 20% less than what the market is now. The market for a QB is astronomically screwed up, effed up. And it's going to continue to stay that way. And many are questioning, is Dak's contract worth it? Well, let's take a look. Probably not, but the way the market commands QB contracts is ridiculous. I mean, a couple of years ago, the Vikings give Kirk Cousins a $84 million fully guaranteed contract on what? One playoff win? Dak pretty much has one playoff win. You know, and the guy demanded Mahomes type money. And he's not Mahomes. Mahomes is his own special talent. But you know what Dak has? Dak has the heart of a champion. Dak loves to compete, and he's a clubhouse leader, and he's not afraid to say, you know what? It was my bad. It starts with me, and it finishes with me. He's not afraid to say that, and if he continues to do that, he's going to win over a lot of people, including the doubters. But because he wears a star on the helmet, you're either a Cowboys fan or you hate the Cowboys. Because you have the star on the helmet, it automatically creates more. The pressure is even greater than being on any other team. There's no question, in my opinion, and as a Cowboys fan myself, that Dak has to at least get to the NFC Championship game within the next 4 years of his contract. It has to be done. A Super Bowl appearance has to be done too. I could live with getting to the NFC Championship game for the time being. And a Super Bowl. Let me tell you something. As a Cowboys fan, I want a Super Bowl badly. But this team is not quite ready for a Super Bowl. The defense needs a lot of freaking work. And maybe that $15 million cap savings, as opposed to franchise tagging Dak for a second year in a row, might be able to string a defense together. And with Dan Quinn, the new defensive coordinator, if he can somehow recreate maybe about 50% of the Legion of Boom he did in Seattle, I can live with it. But the matter of the fact is, Dak Prescott is going to be judged by, can you win the big one? Can you get the team to a conference championship game it hasn't seen in over 20 plus, 25 years just about. You know, with the game on the line. See if you're going to be able to march down the field and make that game-winning touchdown, game-winning scoring drive, and hope to God that the defense can hold up so that he has to go out there and do it again. I'm happy Dak got his money. And you know what? He deserves every freaking penny of it. And yes, his body of work isn't really the greatest per se. He has a sub 500 record against 500 and above teams. He has made some interesting throws. You know, he either underthrows them sometimes or overthrows his receivers. But at least the guy will come out and say, you know what? My bad. I take the blame. The buck stops with me. And look, if he gets to the NFC Championship game, like I said earlier, I can live with that. But you know what? If you think this contract is absurd, oh God, I can't even speak, is ridiculous now, if Dak gets to the NFC Championship game, at least, and or make a Super Bowl appearance, and possibly win a Super Bowl, his next contract is going to be small potatoes to this one he just got. Mark my words. By the time he comes up for another contract, he'll be 31, and the NFL is probably going to have a ridiculous new TV deal in sight. And you know what? It's going to be, I don't even want to know what the average quarterback is going to be. Dak's contract has just set the bar. And somebody is going to break that and reset the bar again. Whether it's going to be Deshaun Watson, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, somebody is going to reset the bar. And at some point, the NFL and the teams are going to have to realize the contracts for the quarterbacks are getting to be so ridiculous. We just may have to have a cap. Not just a salary cap, but a cap of the quarterback contract. And getting back to Prescott here. When his offensive line is good, he can be a very good quarterback. Now the question's going to be, how good is that ankle? How good is that leg? Moving forward, I have no doubt it's going to be just as strong as it was before the injury happens. But what's going to be even more interesting is Dak going to become more of a pocket passer? Is he going to limit his running from time to time? I mean, after all, he could break his freaking leg again. And he's got his money. He's laughing all the way to the bank. And then some. Can't knock the guy for it. And I'm sure you're all sick and tired of hearing Dak this, Dak that, Cowboys this, Cowboys that. Well, guess what? You're never going to hear the end of it in some way, shape, or form. Because the Cowboys, love them or hate them, is always going to draw media attention and ratings. They are the most profitable, not the most, but they're the most, what's the word I'm looking for? The most valued sports franchise in the world. And when the Cowboys do win another Super Bowl, I don't know how many years that's going to be. I'm hoping it's within the next 4. And when the Cowboys do win the Super Bowl, you are never going to hear the end of it. Because we have had, as fans, especially one that's been alive for a while, have been waiting for a Super Bowl for 25 years now. The last time the Cowboys won the Super Bowl was Super Bowl 30 against the Steelers, and at the time I was 8 years old. So, you are going to hear a quarter of a century of pent-up frustration let loose to the end of time when the Cowboys win another Super Bowl. And I hope it's within the next 4 years, because Dak's contract has to be justified fully with a Super Bowl win. At the minimum, a NFC Championship appearance. I'm RJ with the Sports Buzz, and show me the money!